Hi there, it's Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Rip Curl Flash Bomb 3-2 Men's Summer Wetsuit for 2013. So the Flash Bomb, it's been around for a couple of years now, and it's been really successful. It's become renowned as one of the most flexible and warmest wetsuits on the market. Price point has obviously been quite one of the higher price points in terms of cost, so it is a suit which you've got to invest a bit of money into, but the feedback has been good and that it's definitely worth the money. So why would you spend this kind of money on a summer wetsuit, you ask, is really down to the flexibility of the suit, and how warm it is means that you can wear the suit for longer parts of the year. So rather than just summer, this suit will probably do you from, in this country, in the UK, you could quite happily get away with this from late March into April, right the way through into November or even December, if your tolerance for the cold is good. And the reasons, as I say, come down to the features which lie inside the wetsuit. So, the Flash Bomb is primarily known because of the flash dry lining, which I'll show you in a second. But it's definitely worth mentioning a few of the other features in the suit as well. The suit is comprised entirely of E3 neoprene, so that is Rip Curl's highest grade of neoprene. What that actually means is it's the most flexible, and it has the most air inside of the neoprene, which is going to mean that it's going to give you unrivaled flexibility through the whole of the suit. It's going to stick to your body better, and the air inside of the neoprene is going to keep you warmer by insulating you better. So that runs the whole way through. The suit has minimal amount of panels that they can possibly get away with as well. So no sort of huge amount of seams on the suit, which give it more flexibility right the way through. So sort of indicate that on the back of the wetsuit as well. Okay, so that is minimal panels, and obviously the seams are glued and blind stitched. If you're not familiar with what that is, basically what that means is the suit is stitched through halfway through, and then basically it's glued across the other side to seal the suit off, and then it is taped with E3 taping, which I'll show you in a second as well. Just seals the suit off. One thing that they've dropped with this year's suit as well is the liquid taping, and the reason for that is because of the E3 taping. This tape basically is made of the E3 Plus neoprene, which is insanely stretchy. It's even 30% stretchier than the standard E3 neoprene. Because it's so stretchy, they don't use it in the wetsuit too much because it would just overstretch and blow out. So they use it on the seams as taping, reinforces the seams, make sure that they don't sort of leak or the suit's not going to wear out too quickly, but in terms of the flexibility, it's a lot better than the traditional sort of liquid taping that you had with some of the older suits, which you can sort of see demonstrated here. That liquid taping was great as reinforcing the seam, but obviously a lot more restrictive. So you don't get that. They've dropped it on this suit because they don't feel it's necessary, and they don't want to compromise the flexibility, especially in a summer wetsuit. So, the seams are glued and blind stitched and then taped with E3 taping. Minimal panels, as I said before. The panels that you do have are basically there for a reason. You've got a smooth skin lined, single line panel around the back, which stops any wind penetrating the suit. And you get them around the front as well, and that stops any wind getting into the suit and making you cold. Okay, so that's sort of strategically done inside the suit. So many features on the suit, it's hard to mention all of them, but I'll sort of do my best. Lower down on the suit, you've got the knees, which is the Duraflex knee pad, which stop any sort of wear and tear on the knee. Very robust material. You still get the stash pocket. You even get little bits and pieces like sort of taping around the ankles to make sure they don't blow out or pull apart. Make sure they sort of lock around your ankles a bit better as well. Okay, so all of this is thought of. You've even got that around the wrist as well. Just reinforces the cuff and make sure it sticks around your arm better. Doesn't blow open when you have water hit it and get water flushes up your arm. All of the seams are pre-bent, which means that the seams are bent, so if the suit does move this way, so if you stretch that, if you've got arms which stretch that long, like Go-Go Gadget arms, then obviously the wetsuit isn't going to pull you back. Okay. Further up the suit, you've got the chest zip. It's a standard straight across chest zip, basically with this little dip here, and you can see these holes. Basically, the way the chest zip works, and the reason they do it in a chest zip, is it's more it's better at keeping water out of the wetsuit. Basically, you've got unbroken seal around the neck, so any water that comes in contact with your neck, rather than sort of going down the back of like a traditional back zip wetsuit like this, where you have like you've got a broken seal. It's unbroken seal, so it's less likely to let water in. Any water that does come in, again, instead of coming straight into the suit, pull the chest up and over. They've got this panel of neoprene just here, which comes up very high. So it comes through the neck, and it will be met with this panel of neoprene, which will be flush against your skin, and the water goes into this section here. And that's where we bring in these little holes. Basically, they are drain holes to let the water out. The reason they dip that down, as you can imagine, it's just like a drain. So any water comes in there, gets funneled down to here and out of the wetsuit. It also gives the suit more four-way stretch properties, so rather than having a straight seam across here, they dip it down so it flexes. And that's the same around the back of the suit as well. You get that little dip, which gives it four-way stretch properties and means that you've got really dynamic stretch through the back of the wetsuit, which is your paddling zone. So really nice little touches there. Okay, so that's the chest zip. If we start to open up the suit then, I can show you what's going on inside and where most of the sort of features lie. You can see around the collar you get a smooth skin lined collar as well, single lined, stops any sort of rashes or rub against your neck. Very comfortable, creates a better seal with your neck and again stops any water coming in through the wetsuit. Moving further inside then, you can see where most of the features lie and brings us onto the flash dry lining. So the flash dry lining basically runs through the entire length of this suit. And what it is a polypro material. And a polypro is basically, it's kind of like a plasticky material, basically, which is backcombed to create a furry effect and make it very, very unabsorbent and quick drying. But also keeps you very, very warm. So, showing you the suit, you can see the majority of the suit is covered with this lining, front and back, apart from the top of the suit where you need a bit more flexibility so they drop it off. So, what is this stuff then? As I say, it's a backchrome polypro material, and it's like a furry to the touch, and basically what it does is it insulates you and keeps you warmer. So rather than losing your body heat through the neoprene and getting cold, basically this material will keep you a little bit warmer and keep you in the water longer basically. Nice and furry, feels great against your skin as you can imagine, and having something fluffy like that does a lot psychologically to make you think that you're warmer. But the primary sort of thing about it is these little fibres, they pull water out of the material and onto the tips of the fibres, which make it dry very, very quickly because it's non-absorbent. And so this suit will actually dry in 15 minutes. So if you can imagine in summer, or even in a slightly warmer country, you get out of the water, turn it inside out, hang it in a cool, dry place, and that's going to dry off really, really quickly. So for your second surf, then you're not going to get cold and wet. You not have to get into a cold, wet wetsuit, which is very pleasant indeed. And having owned one of these suits for winter, I can definitely vouch for that as a good thing. One of the other features then, you've got the E3 taping, the E3 Plus taping running on over all of the seams. Okay, and that is just what we talked about earlier. Really lightweight taping, unrestrictive, gives you a huge amount of flex through the suit, and obviously because it's flat and not grippy, feels much better against the skin than the traditional liquid taping would. Okay, so that's pretty much everything going on inside the suit. So you've got the E3 neoprene on top here, critically taped areas around the joints, and you do have a toggle around the side of the chest zip as well, so you can tighten it, make sure no water comes up through the side. But primarily, the Flash Bomb is all about quality of neoprene and this flash dry lining to make it dry quick and make it very, very warm. So as I said before, this suit is ideal for summer, but it goes beyond summer as well, because it is such a good wetsuit, so flexible and so warm that you could be wearing this almost like a 4-3, you know, through spring into autumn, maybe even to the start of winter, depending on your tolerance for the cold. And you're definitely going to be able to wear this as a winter wetsuit in countries with slightly warmer climates like Portugal, guys in Spain, Italy, those sort of places. So that is a top recommendation from the Wetsuit Centre, is the Rip Curl Flash Bomb 3-2 Men's Summer Wetsuit for 2013.